morning, went downstairs, grabbed my hashtag Rise and Grind planner, as I always do. And right there at the top of the Rise and Grind planner, there's always a quote. And it is a quote that is submitted by a Rise and Grind member, right? Quote submitted by a Rise and Grind member. So I popped it open, and there was a quote by this guy, Andrew Watson. Now, these are the members of the group submitting their favorite quote. That's how this works, right? So Andrew put a quote right here in our planner, which I love being able to highlight the members of our group. Super important, right? So Andrew Watson says this: the only way to change is overcoming your fear of change. The only way to change is overcoming your fear of change. And so I kind of thought about that this morning. And at first I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that particular quote, right? The only way to change is overcoming your fear of change. Like, I know there have been times in my life where I changed while I was still in a place of fear. While I was still afraid of the change, I was able to make the change. And so as I thought about that, I just kind of reflected a little bit. And I was like, I wonder if that's what he's saying is really to overcome it. We have to let go of the fear of it. Interesting. Thought-provoking, right? Which way do you see it? Go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'll check on that here in a second. While you're doing that, we're going to go ahead and hop into today's episode of hashtag Rise and Grind. Let's do this. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts. Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to 8, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Wednesday, also known as CMA Day. That's right. Today is Wednesday, CMA Day, April 7th, 2021. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it will ever be Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. Dude, last night was crazy. Last night, not only was it taco night in the Lundy house, which is always spectacular. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Everett, for always setting us up on taco night. It's amazing. The best tacos. Me and my wife just chill. My mom chases the kids all around the house. It's awesome, right? So not only was it taco night, but at 9 p.m. last night, this guy named TD Jakes, don't know if you've ever heard of him, but this guy named TD Jakes popped into a room on Clubhouse. And TD Jakes is really spectacular. It's Bishop TD Jakes. Bishop TD Jakes. So he is a bishop. He is also an entrepreneur. He is also a real estate investor. He owns multiple businesses. He's just all around. The dude's got it going on, right? In many different ways. He's an author. He is a film director. He's made 5 different movies. He's got a program coming out here on Lifetime this weekend, a 7-part series on the 7 deadly sins. Super excited to participate in that. But he's just an incredibly dynamic guy. And last night I sat in the room with him for 2 hours on Clubhouse. From 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. last night. Stepped out for a little bit to make sure the kids got to bed, but that was it. I was in it. I was in it with this dude, TD Jakes, right? And what was crazy is it was audio only, but yet his words were so incredibly impactful. The wisdom that he shared with everybody was incredibly insightful. He spoke on wealth. He spoke on the importance of our voice and not dropping the mic. He spoke on the power and requirement of authenticity in everything that we do. And as TD Jakes poetically assembled his words, he created a lyrical symphony that harmoniously made its way through every single human in attendance. He spoke, we listened. Simple as that. And as we listened, his words started to influence my behavior, and I'm sure the behavior of others as well. Like, I began to kind of drag slowly to the bedroom because I was listening to TD and I didn't want my wife to get too upset at me for being on Clubhouse when I'm supposed to be in the bed, right? I ended up cleaning up my closet a little bit because I was just in there, like, in it, listening to TD, right? Like, his words started to influence my physical behavior at my house, the things that I was doing. Right? He impacted that. Not only was he impacting me spiritually, not only was he impacting me mentally, but he was impacting me physically, simply with his words. Many members of our group, the Breakfast with Champions, we have a back channel where we all chat, and many members of the group were in the room and they were all listening as well. And we started like speaking in the back channels, right? Like Niku was like, you may be an oak tree hiding out in an acorn, but you're still an oak tree. In seed form, you are energy, right? And this is incredible. Wow, God is attracted to emptiness. That is deep, right? Like, we started having these conversations in the back channels that was really, really powerful as well. And so the energy in the room and the energy outside of the room was literally palpable. For those of you that don't know what that means, it means like you can contextualize it, right? You could taste it, you can feel it. It was palpable. And with simply his voice, TD Jakes was influencing the actions, the thoughts, and behaviors, and even the belief systems of thousands of people worldwide. Influence. What a powerful force, right? This week here on hashtag Rise and Grind, we are diving into this force. What is it? What is influence? How does influence work? How do we protect ourselves against negative influences? And how do we harness and ultimately utilize influence in order to make a bigger impact on this planet? We've been talking about that, and we're going to continue to talk about that and more today here on hashtag Rise and Grind. But before we go too deep, y'all know what we got to do. Y'all know. At least those of you that have seen the show before know. Those of you that have never seen or heard our show before, you might not know. But for those of you that know and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where we're going to do a little dancing. We're going to get the body in motion. It's early in the morning, right? In most places, well, in the United States, it's early in the morning. Now that our show's gone a little bit more global, it might not be early in the morning for you. But wherever it is, whatever time it is, it's always a good time to dance, right? Get that body in motion. So that's what we do this morning. We get the body in motion. We get the heart pumping a little bit, right? We get the blood flowing. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. Objects at rest tend to stay at rest. So let's get rocking and rolling. This is also the part of the show where I want you to say good morning to me, and I'm going to say good morning to you. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up, and I'll say what's up back. Fair enough? Good morning. Jacquia Lafray. Jacquia Lafray. I believe I'm saying that right. What's up, Kelly Taylor? How you doing, Robin Wilshans? Great to see you, Liza Myers-Borges. What's up, Tabitha Walls? We've got Robin Wilshans is up in here. JT Palmer and Leisha Watts are in the house. How you doing? Robert Magliosio. Gosh, it's going super fast this morning. What's up, Tony Thorstad? How you doing, Melvin Rodriguez? We've got Kim Fair in the house this morning. Mr. Brad Smith is up in here. What's up, Mike Stevens? Great to see you. I see Kurt Cahill in the place this morning. I see my man Sean Jones is up in here. What's up, Jeremy Noling? Great to see you as well, sir. And Mrs. Mary Lynn Wilkin. I see over here on Instagram, we got D Moons and Fool Around the World. We got Simply Simper Travels. We've got the O Hill. Is that what that says? The O Hill. We've got Yannick Mater. 2311 is up in here. The Angeline Moore is here. And of course, over on Clubhouse, listening in, we've got Mavi. Ooh, that's an interesting name. Hold on. Mavliuda Suleymanova. Mavliuda Suleymanova. Wow, I love it. It's beautiful. How you doing, Georgetta? What's up, Sydney? How you doing, Melanie and Doris and Julio? We got Glenn with 2 N's up in here. Not me, but another Glenn with 2 N's because he's twice as nice. And then we got Todd with 2 D's. I see Christina's up in here and Marina's up in here. I see Mona and Wanfra and Marie and Rob and Ray Hill. We've got Robert up in the house and Robbie's up in here. Man, we got all kinds of folks over here on Clubhouse. I love it. And of course, up here on this end of the breakfast table, I see my man Bill Hauser's here this morning. What's up, Kiru? How you doing, Mir Harris? Great to see you, young lady. We got Renee Norris who's up in the house. I see Ryan and Robert and Ed and Aaron and Val and Laura and Derek and Nerfidi. My goodness, packed house. I love it. Hey, it's spring break. Just so you guys know, there's a lot of you in here. It's spring break in a lot of places right now, and we are doing some spring cleaning. So we have an entire line of hoodies and hats and t-shirts and all of that stuff. And for spring break, we've got that entire line 40% off. So if you go to Rise and Grind Gear, RISEANDGRINDGEAR.com. You want to get a shirt, you want to get a hoodie, you want to get a hat, you want to get a water bottle, you want to get some coffee, you want to get a planner so you can change the way you start your day, any of those things. You want to do that? Go to RISEANDGRINDGEAR.com and use the code Spring Break, and you get 40% off all that stuff all week long for spring break. All right, so go grab you some so you can represent. It's good stuff. Just ask anybody that's got some. It's good stuff. It's quality. All right, let's dive in. Let's go. November 19th, 1863. Oh, that music's running a little long on Clubhouse. Make sure that what's it doing? There it goes. Okay, sorry about that. He said, go Saints. November 19th, 1863. 1863. Anybody know what that date is? You should. On November 19th, 1863, a guy named Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address. His words were powerful, impactful, and he was speaking to a divided union in a very crucial moment in time in our history. And on that day, Abraham Lincoln stood up and he said this: 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now, that's only an excerpt from the Gettysburg Address. The overall speech was 272 words. It took him approximately 3 minutes to deliver. And has gone down in history as one of the greatest speeches of all time. The influence that he was able to have on an entire union simply through his words is absolutely phenomenal. Fast forward 100 years, almost like 100 years, almost to the day. Very, very close. August, September, October, November. Like 3 months short of being 100 years to the day that Abraham Lincoln gave that speech. A guy named Martin Luther King Jr., who you all know, on August 28th, 1963, 100 years later, King said this. Martin Luther King said, "I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today." Now, obviously, Martin Luther King said it with a lot more passion and fire than I just now did. And the only reason I didn't try to deliver it with his passion and his fire is I would hate to do that man any type of disservice. It was incredible. I've listened to him deliver this speech time and time and time again. Any time I'm feeling any kind of way where I feel maybe a little doubtful, anytime I feel maybe some fear or some anxiety, anytime I feel like one person can't make an impact or can't make a difference, anytime I feel like the world is overwhelming in a sense, I always go back to my man Martin. And I listen to that speech, and I listen to how he had a dream and how he was able to take that dream and speak it ultimately into existence. And in doing so, through the power of word, touch the minds and the hearts of millions of people and ultimately influence them to take action, to move physically into position, to fight for what he believed in. And ultimately they believed in. Don't lose sight of that. To fight for what he believed in and ultimately what they believed in. The power of his voice. Absolutely incredible. In 33 AD, this guy named Jesus gave the Sermon on the Mount. And in this sermon, he said this. He said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure at heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed. I've read those words over and over and over again, being a man who comes from a sort of a jaded background. A jaded background, in and out of jail, homelessness, broke, despair, lie, cheat, steal, you name it. You got a sin, pick it. My guess is I can take a drink to that, right? And so I go back to this Sermon on the Mount, and I'm always reminded that Jesus delivered this sermon, he delivered this sermon to let the people know, that it is not the perfect or those that look perfect on the outside. It is not the Pharisees or the religious leaders. It is not them that are not pure at heart that ultimately are going to get into the kingdom of heaven only because they follow the rules or know the instruction or they can understand how to interpret the text. No. It is the meek. It is the weak. It is the sinner. It is the one that is willing to lay down self, and seek the righteousness that exists in the God of the universe. Such powerful words. Words that were spoken in 33 AD and yet still have the power to influence my decisions today, that still have the power to influence how you think, how you act, how you walk, how you talk, to influence your spirit, your mind, and your body. Words. My goodness, there is so much influence in words. Winston Churchill, Frederick Douglass, John F. Kennedy, Les Brown, Eric Thomas, Oprah Winfrey, hundreds, if not thousands more. They've all influenced the world that we live in with their voice. You see, right now there's this fascination with Clubhouse. People don't quite understand how we go from video being everything and mattering more than anything, right? Everybody was saying, you got to do video, you got to do video, you got to do video. And video is still still plays an important role in all that we're doing, right? In all of our businesses, in all of our lives, in our relationships, like everything, right? Video, it's incredibly important still, but yet for some reason, there are 20 million people on a platform where there's only a voice. There's no words to be written other than the title to the room. There's no words to be written. There's no video to be played. There's no pictures to scroll through. All there is on the Clubhouse app is a still shot that you choose and your voice. And yet in 90 days or so, that app has made it's influenced so many of my decisions. It's changed me. I've evolved, and I see the same experience for many of you. How is it? How is that a simple voice can have such an influence? And here's what I need you to understand. Your voice is literally the speaker for your heart. You see, the words that come out of your mouth, they tell us way more than what you're trying to say. Everything that comes out of your mouth comes directly from your heart. I want you to imagine that your heart has this long little speaker tube that comes out of your heart, goes up through your throat, and comes out of your mouth. Right? Your voice is the speaker for your heart, and the ears are the tunnels for our minds. So when you put those two together, it is a powerful tool of influence. I'm listening intently, and you're speaking with intention. And when those two things happen, influence occurs. Now, why am I slowly and methodically spelling this out for you this morning? Glenn, it's 5 a.m. You're supposed to be hype. You're supposed to be dancing. You're supposed to be doing all of those things. The reason I'm slowly and methodically spelling this out for you is too many of you are not speaking up. My name is Glenn, and I'm your friend. And I just want to keep it real. You see, there's something that I know about you. Maybe you don't, but there's something that I know about you. I know that you are a child of God. The God of the universe, the God that made everything. You have royalty in your DNA, as Kendrick Lamar said, right? You have royalty in your DNA. I believe that you are a child of God, the God of the universe, the God who created everything. And that God gave you a very specific voice, a voice that is directed directly from your heart and ultimately able to influence a guy like me when I receive it through these tunnels to my mind. And too many of you, because of fear, doubt, anxiety, too many of you are keeping your voice silent. You are staying on mute. You think that what you have to say is not valuable. And I'm here to tell you that not only is it valuable, it's integral. You see, right now, the entire globe has been shifted. For the first time in history, every single human being, what I believe first time in history, first time in my lifetime anyway, every single human being on the planet is experiencing the same thing. It's a synergetic moment. And as we're experiencing this same thing, it's more clear to me now than ever that we are one. One being united, Ubuntu. I am because you are is the African philosophy. And as connected as one, we're not going to be able to get this world straightened out until all of the pieces of the puzzle get put into place. And that requires your voice to be heard by those that you've been called to positively influence. So this morning, as I wrote out today's episode of #RiseAndGrind, it was on my heart to be authentic and real with you, as TD Jakes says, and to be kind is to be clear, and to say to you, it is time for you to step up loudly and to be heard. You have incredible gifts, incredible experiences, and the words that you can speak, the stories that you can tell, the opportunities that you can share are so integral for the growth of us as a species, of me specifically. So please speak up. Listen, I love you. I really, really do. I absolutely stinking love you. And so I need you to rise every single day with intention and purpose. I need you to evolve into the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. So together we can go out there and make an impact. And that's going to start with you grabbing a seat at the table, opening up that mic, and sharing the things that you have to share. Fair enough? Fair enough. All right, I'm done. I'm done leaning into you this morning. Take it or leave it. The choice is yours now. I can't do this for you. All right? I can't do this for you. But know that I love you. I really, really do. Listen, if you need more videos like this, you can go to glennlundy.com, right? We got tons of them. This is episode 843. So we got tons of videos like this up there. Head on up. You can go watch those if you want. If you want to go hang out with us on Clubhouse, We're going to be on Clubhouse until 11 o'clock Eastern time. So you're welcome to come in, ask questions. We'll discuss this and other things today. Super fun. So make sure you come join us over there. If you haven't gotten your gear, spring break. The code is spring break. Go to RISEANDGRINDgear.com. My wife and I are trying to clean out that room. So we're just selling everything super cheap, and I know you're going to love it. High quality stuff, right? So head on over there and go get that. But most importantly, speak up, dude. I'm talking to you. If you're like, is he talking to me? Yes, I'm talking to you. I need you to speak up. We need to hear what you have to say. Fair enough? Fair enough. All right, get out there, have an incredible day, and I'll see you back here again tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. We're going to do this all over again on #RiseAndGrind.
When you begin to grapple with leadership and life begins to move you along, career, opportunities, or I believe the presence of the Holy Spirit begins to move you along, because promotion really doesn't come from the east or the west, it really does come from God. It is possible for life to lead you faster than your mind is prepared to handle. God can move you into such a place that positionally you are in a state of leadership, but mentally and emotionally you really haven't got a grip on what life has handed you. And if you don't know what you have, you don't know how to take care of it. If you don't know how to take care of it, you can mess around and lose it. The truth of the matter is, leaders come from ordinary places. They deal with ordinary issues. And I'm going to share some things with you that I think are very helpful for you to realize. First of all, I want you to understand that when you're saying to yourself that you want to be a great leader and you want to really go the extra mile and you want to do what has to be done, you're asking for trouble. You are absolutely asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble. And if you think about this a minute, you'll learn a very important concept that I think you need to understand. In the corporate world, in the business world, they actually pay you more money as you move up the ladder with more responsibility. Okay? So if you are a superintendent, you might not make as much as a general manager. A general manager might not make as much as a regional manager. A CEO would make more than a regional manager. Let me tell you something. They're paying